right, so I'm going to go ahead and let them in, and I'm just going to put my thumbs up, okay?
Okay, very good. Okay, well, we are moving. They are coming in. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Fletcher, and I am the academic recruiter for the college. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We so appreciate you taking the time to be with us in these information sessions. Now, before we get started, I have a few gentle reminders and a few things I'd like for you to know. Please remember to check our website for dates and times for future info sessions, as well as other virtual activities for prospective students. As an FYI, we have posted the first information session on our YouTube channel. So you can go to the CVCC website and click the YouTube symbol and get right to it. Now, when you become a student at CVCC, you're going to engage with a lot of different staff and faculty. And it's important that you know who they are, their role at the college, and how your path might connect with them. So going forward, in addition to our general information session, we are going to highlight different staff and their areas of expertise. That said, starting tonight, our first highlight will be our dual enrollment coordinator, Donna Grant Page. And to a lot of you, you refer to her as Mrs. GP. She will answer your questions regarding your dual enrollment classes and what that means for you as you move forward coming to CVCC. Now on Thursday, April 23rd, we will highlight our transfer counselor, Mrs. Emily Nunez, and she will be talking with us about transferring from CVCC to the four-year institutions. She will talk about the guaranteed admission agreements and the articulation agreements that we have with over 30 four-year public and private colleges and universities in the state of Virginia. She will also be talking with us about the co-enrollment agreements that we have with our local four-year public and private colleges and universities. So we have a lot of good information coming your way. And I know sometimes it can be a little much, a little overwhelming to try to retain it all. So feel free to join us as often as you like for any of these information sessions. And remember, we're also posting the recordings on the YouTube channel, and you can check them out there as well. Now, the objective of these information sessions is designed to do basically two things: get information to you and give us an opportunity to hear from you. We want to hear how you're thinking about taking your next step regarding your career. I am convinced, everybody on this panel, this team is convinced that we can do two things. Either we can help you get started or we can help you reach your goal. So as we move forward with the presentations tonight, please write down any questions that you need an answer to. There's going to be a Q&A at the end, and we want to make sure that you get your questions answered. Now, in just a few minutes, Kimberly French is going to come and lay out the rules of engagement for tonight. After you hear from her, then Dean Ferris will come and say a few words to you as well. And after he speaks, then you will hear from the presenters. Now, we have 5 presenters this evening, and each one has about, I'd say about 8 minutes to share with you. Karen Alexander is our registrar. She will talk with you about the application process. Ryan McNamara, our financial aid coordinator, he's going to help you find the money. Donna Grant Page, our dual enrollment coordinator. Brittany Cochran, our navigator, she's going to be talking with you about how to get started. And then Mark Zicola, our counselor, will be talking with you about academic and technical programs. So at this point, Kimberly French is going to come and lay out the rules of engagement, and we are going to be on our way with this presentation for the evening.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you look down at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see something that says Manage Participants. In the Manage Participants, you can raise a hand to ask a question, but there's also a chat feature at the very bottom. If you have any questions during the presentation, please go in and write a question in for anything that you want to ask any of the presenters tonight. And we will be going in and answering those questions for you. We look forward to answering those questions, but we'll have some polls coming up in a little bit to get you more engaged and to find out some more information from you as well. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dean of Enrollment, Michael Ferris.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Excuse me. Got a whole bunch of folks on here tonight, and some folks have been here before. I recognize some of these names, so welcome back. We've got a great night set aside here for you. We're so very happy for you to be joining us tonight, and a lot of good stuff to talk about. Michelle has introduced pretty much everybody. I do want to give a special shout out to our student activities coordinator. Her name is Dee. Wave to everybody, Dee. She's here with us as well. And if you guys have any questions about club activities or anything like that, she'll be happy to help you out. So I think the next thing we're going to do is we've got a little fun poll for you to do, don't we, Kimberly?
We sure do. All right, so I'm going to launch a first poll for you. It's on your technology requirements. I'm going to go ahead and start that. So if you can see, does everybody see this on your screen? Give me a thumbs up if you do. All right. So we're getting answers. All right, so are you comfortable with navigating new technology, and do you have reliable internet service? They're coming in. Thank you for engaging with us. Okay, we're at 76%. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And I'm going to share the results with you so you can see. So we have 100% that are comfortable navigating new technology, which is great. And do you have reliable internet service? We have 82% that do, and then 18% that don't. So that could also be in the area that you're located. I know some of the rural areas do not have the best internet service, so that could be one of those. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right.
Okay, so we are ready to begin. The first presenter will be Karen Alexander, our registrar, who will be talking about the application process. And after Karen speaks, she'll just introduce the next speaker and so on and so forth. All right, Karen.
All right, thanks, Michelle, and thank you everyone for joining. It's so great to see so many names and faces out there. We're always excited to come to you and do presentations like this because we love to welcome new students to CVCC. And everyone you see on this panel here in front of you today, we've all been exactly where you are, embarking on a new journey, getting ready to go to college, go back to college perhaps. But even though it may look and feel a little bit different right now in this time of lockdown, COVID-19, we assure you that we're all here to support you. And we have all the same services available to you through CVCC that we always have. And we're here working hard behind the scenes to make sure that each of you have a very smooth transition into college. So of you out there, many of you may have already applied to CVCC, and that is great. If you have, you've gotten a confirmation. It should have come through immediately via text and email as soon as you submitted your application. If you have not yet submitted your application, it's very easy to do. You simply click on our website, click on the admissions link, and then click on apply. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes to do your CVCC application. And as soon as you do, you'll be welcomed as an admitted CVCC student. So a few things I want to talk to you about as you get started. You can take these steps now to help yourself get prepared before you start meeting with the counselor, getting signed up for your classes. There's a few things you can check on your account now to help yourself get prepared. And speaking of registration, when we get through the evening tonight, please know that summer registration is currently open and you can sign up for classes if you want to get an early start. And if you are interested in fall classes, that will open on May 4th. So easy way to remember that, Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you. So we will get everything started up. But for now, if you've already applied to CVCC, you would have received a 7-digit student ID number. And you will be able to log in if you click on the upper right-hand link on the website, My CVCC. That's where you log into your what we call a Student Information System account, SIS. And when you log in for the first time, you can set up your password, set security questions so you can sign in easily and reset your password if needed in the future. All your account information will be there, and that's where you will actually sign up for your classes in the future. If you have not already done so, you can begin sending transcripts into the Admissions and Records Office. We are accepting transcripts. We're processing transcripts both electronically and via mail, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So all of that is in place. Nothing is different than how it would look any other semester. Now, one important thing I want you to note on your application is your residency, or what we call domicile. The in-state tuition rate is the rate that you want if you are a lifelong or at least a year-long Virginia resident. If you check your account, as soon as you get your application, it will give you a confirmation screen. It will say either you're an in-state resident for tuition purposes or an out-of-state resident. If you are in-state, everything is great if there's no holds or anything on your account. If it says that you're out of state and you feel that you should be in-state, perhaps you've lived here all your life, you graduated in Virginia, or you've been here perhaps by yourself or with your family for more than a year, then it's a very easy process. All you need to do is contact the Admissions and Records Office. We can help you with that appeal process and collect what we need to get you coded correctly as an in-state tuition resident if you qualify. So those are just a few steps that you can do beforehand. You can start looking at that now. If you're not sure about your tuition rate, you can just sign back in where you did your application, and you can confirm that information on your confirmation screen of your application. So all of those are just quick little tips that we can get you started with right now. I know a lot of you may be wondering about your CVCC email account. That is a benefit that all CVC students will get. You will have that as soon as you register for your first classes. So keep that in mind. For now, we will just communicate with you via your student email account or your personal email account that you use to register with, and you will get that CVCC email as soon as you sign up for classes. So that's the quick and easy things I want to tell you about the registration process right now. If we don't have any immediate questions, which will all be on until the end, and we'll take a Q&A time at the end for all of you to ask your questions of us. But if no other questions right now, I want to turn it over to someone who's going to speak to you about a very important part of the process, and that's Mr. Ryan McNamara. He's the coordinator of our financial aid office, and he's going to talk to you about affording college and signing up for your FAFSA and the financial aid process. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking an hour out of your day. Hello, everybody. Yep, wave, wave. Thanks for taking an hour out of your day to meet with us. Hopefully we can answer a lot of the questions that you came with tonight. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go through a quick PowerPoint presentation. That way, I like to visualize things, so that way it's a little easier. So first I want to say congratulations to you in your decision-making process. You're considering CVCC. Congratulations for soon getting out of high school and on to the next step in your life. And we are here to help you, walk you through the steps that you need in order to move on for the next phase of life. So first of all and foremost, congratulations. So there's two things that you need to do for CVCC. One is apply for admission, and Karen just spoke to that of kind of the steps to go through the admission process. The second thing that you need to do, if you have not done it already, is to complete the FAFSA. On the website there, it has the website fafsa.gov. So that's the first step that you will do in order to be eligible for financial aid. So that's where you want to focus a lot of your time. And again, we're here to help you if you have any questions on that. So if you're wondering, how much does CVCC cost? For an in-state student, so if you are a Virginia resident, the charge is about $161 per credit hour. All right, so if you're taking 12 credit hours, which is full time, it would be $161.25 times 12. So that gives you an idea of the charges that you'd be billed for. But then, of course, there is good news. We have financial aid that is available for you. So like I mentioned earlier, you want to complete the FAFSA. Make sure you go to fafsa.gov. Do not go to fafsa.com. Do not go to fafsa.org. They're going to charge you for the same things that you can do on your own for free. If you have questions on it, or if you need help, we are here to assist you. We can talk to you over the phone. We can do a Zoom meeting like this. to kind of show you the different steps or different questions that you have on the FAFSA. Be aware that if you are under the age of 24, you will need a parent to also register for the FAFSA or to create a FSA, a username and password. So there's parent information that's required as well as student information. Also keep in mind that your FAFSA is not complete if we have requested documentation from you. So sometimes when you submit the FAFSA, we need some follow-up documentation. Be sure to follow through on that and send us the documents that we are requesting, because if those are not received by us, then your FAFSA is still incomplete and you may not receive the financial aid that you otherwise would be eligible for. So there's different types of financial aid. First, I'm going to focus on the federal financial aid. So when you do the FAFSA, that determines your financial need. Based on your financial need, you could receive up to about $6,300 a year in the Pell Grant. Pell Grant is free. You don't have to pay it back. It goes straight to your school bill, so it pays for your education plus additional expenses that you may have. It is for undergraduate students only, so if you do not have a bachelor's degree, you are eligible to complete the FAFSA and receive the Pell Grant. And again, like I mentioned, you need to make sure you submit any documentation that we've requested. There's also a FSEOG, Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. It's another federal need-based grant, and it's about $100. Hey, I'll take $100 if I see it sitting on the ground. So you should be happy with receiving an extra $100 from the results of the FAFSA, all right? So the next ones are the state grants. So these are also determined by the results of the FAFSA. So you wanna make sure if you're a Virginia resident, you may be eligible for this COMA, the Commonwealth Grant. The key with that is you have to be enrolled at least 6 hours per semester to receive this grant, okay? So if you're taking only maybe one class, a 3-credit class, you're not gonna be eligible for the COMA. So just so you are aware, it's for 6 credit hours, which is half-time or above. There's other state grants that you are also possibly eligible for. I wanna focus on that bottom one, the PTAP, which is the part-time tuition assistance grant. And that is for students enrolled 1 to 8 hours. So if you are part-time, there's still aid that you are eligible or potentially eligible for. So regardless if you're taking one class or a full load, there is aid that you're eligible for. And there's also another institutional grant. This is from the foundation. So there's an application process involved in this. But again, the purpose of me showing this to you is there are funds out there. There's money available for you to make your education a reality. We also have loans. So if you want to, or if you need additional assistance above and beyond what you will get from the federal and the state grants, there are loans that are available to you if you need those. And also a good thing at CVCC is you can work while you're a student. So we have many on-campus jobs. It's like a regular job. You get paid like a normal job, and you can use that money to either pay for your schooling or personal expenses if you need to do that as well. So the good news is you can work at school while you are attending school. There's also a net price calculator on our website. So if you're curious and wondering how much aid may you be eligible for, you can go to our website. It takes no more than 30 seconds. It asks for a couple questions, and it will give you the results, giving you an estimate of what financial aid you may be eligible for. At some point, once you've applied to the college and completed the FAFSA, we will send you an award notification. That way you will see what financial aid you're eligible for. You'll log into the school system and view your awards that way. So that's how you are notified once your financial aid is on your account or once you've been awarded. We also have a tuition payment plan. So if you still have an outstanding balance and you cannot make the full payment at one time, you can split that payment over 3 or 4 months, and that helps financially, again, if you can't make the lump sum, if you still have a balance after your financial aid has been applied. And yes, you can use your financial aid for books. so you don't even have to come up with out-of-pocket expenses for your textbooks. If you purchase them, they're right here at our bookstore. So that's also an added benefit. So here's our contact information. I would encourage you to email us if you have any specific questions. Our financial aid email is financialaid@centralvirginia.edu. And if you would like a copy of this PowerPoint presentation slide, just email that email address and we will be glad to send it to you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I am going to, I guess I'm going to pass it on to Miss Donna Grant Page. She's the dual enrollment coordinator here at CVCC, so she's going to answer all of your dual enrollment questions.
Thank you, Ryan, and good evening to everybody. What an exciting time. College is right around the corner, transitioning from high school. And if you're dual enrollment, you're kind of still transitioning into college life. So congratulations to all. Let's quickly just talk about dual enrollment and what are the steps that you need to do if you're a graduating senior. And we're also going to talk about if you're still in high school and you're going to be taking dual enrolled classes. If you are in a class and you're a graduating senior this year, the great news is that you do not need to reapply for admission. The thing you have to do, and I'm going to put it in the chat box, is you're going to need to speak with an academic advisor to get program placed. Now that's one of our words, so all you need to do is just call, ask to speak to somebody so you can actually tell them you're getting out of dual enrollment and you need to be put into a program so you can take classes and financial aid will actually cover it. That number is 832-7800, and I put it in the box, and I believe it'll be at the in the chat box at the end. Kimberly French usually puts all our contact numbers there. So once you do that and you are program placed, and it takes a couple of days for them to do it, you'll either be able to enroll yourselves in your classes for the fall, or you can actually meet with an academic advisor who can help you, set up your schedule and talk to you a little bit about the classes and things like that. Like Ryan said, you want to make sure you do your FAFSA for the 2021 school year. That's really important. And if you are graduating from homeschool, you participated in a co-op or an online program, you just want to make sure that you have a copy of your transcripts. Those can be used to place you into classes. And a lot of times when you apply for financial aid, you may be flagged for verification and have to produce those transcripts. Now, for those who are still in high school and looking to take classes while they're in high school to get credit for high school and college credit, you can call my office. The first thing you want to do is you want to apply for admission at centralvirginia.edu. Once you apply for admission, I will need a copy of your high school transcripts. Because of COVID-19, we cannot administer a VPT test. We will be able to, hopefully, at the end of the summer, but we won't know until after June 10th. So I'll need a copy of your transcript. You can ask your high school guidance counselor to send them to me, or you can just send me an unofficial copy. That is fine. Once I've done that, I will look over and see what classes that you place for. And then we'll talk and have a conversation about what your goals are. What classes do you want to take, or where are you planning on transferring, so we can check all those boxes off. Once you decide to take classes, we'll get the permission forms sent to the school, allowing them to approve your classes. Then we'll get you enrolled in the classes. We'll get some parent permission and all that great paperwork that has to come along with going to college. Congratulations on your next step in your academic journey. This is really exciting. And I'm going to kind of pause for a minute to see if anybody has questions about dual enroll.
Remember, you can raise your hand or down at the bottom, or you can either put it in the chat feature.
Come on, you guys, no crickets tonight. Okay. Well, if there's no questions, or if you think of some, we can do them at the end when we have our Q&A session. I'm going to turn you over to Brittany Cochran. She's one of our 3 college navigators. These are your little cheerleaders. They're there to make sure that you are successful in your academic journey.
Thank you, Donna. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Cochran, and I'm one of the college navigators at CVCC, and I am here to help you get started on all of your processes. So we've already heard from Karen, our registrar, talk about the application process. So some of you here tonight may have already applied or you still need to apply. And then we've heard from financial aid. So that's another application process. And then now when you, your next step would be to kind of get into maybe the fun thing, which is making your class schedule, picking out your classes, and planning for your major. So you do not have to do the application to CVCC or financial aid by yourself, though, whether it's one of either myself or one of the other college navigators or somebody from the financial aid office or somebody from the admissions and records office. We have support here to help you through those application pieces, okay? But once you finish both of those steps, then you're ready to pick your class schedule out. And we work with you on not just advising what classes are needed, depending on what kind of career path you're headed, but also placement into those classes. So before you can enroll in certain programs or certain classes, we have to determine your placement. And typically that would be done by the Virginia Placement Test, which you could either do, at CVCC, or we would come to your high school and do those, which some of you may have gotten that done this year, but if you didn't, that's okay. We have some things in order during this time of working remotely for you to still get placed. So you would just reach out to one of us. We'll work with you on what option is best for you. Some of those options will be to look at your high school transcripts. So you would want to contact your high school and get a hold of your transcripts to have them sent to CVCC. And that way we're able to use your GPA or SAT scores in order to place you into classes. Now, that's not the only way. We have a few other methods. Depending on age, if you're an adult student, so maybe you're not right out of high school, you'll have an option to do an adult self-informed placement if you've been 5 years out of high school. We also have a practice test that we can share a link with you for you to complete at home and take the placement test that way. So we've got a few different methods in place. We will work with you on an individual basis when advising to determine what would be best for you. We're there to make sure that you're placed into the class that you need. We do not want you sitting in a class that you are not ready for, and we don't want you in a class that may be too easy, that you might not even need for your program, okay? We are able to meet with you just like this via a Zoom meeting. We can also just work through you over email or through a phone appointment, whatever you are most comfortable with. And again, at the end of this, Ms. Kimberly French will share all of our contact information. So don't hesitate to reach out with us and set up an appointment now. So if you're looking to start summer classes, those will start May 18th. So we've got a little bit less than a month to get you started in those. And then our fall classes, we've got time to plan for those. Fall enrollment will start on May 4th. And then our classes will actually start in August. So we've got plenty of time to work with you on that, plenty of time to get the FAFSA done and all those steps. So we are here for you, and we're really excited for you. I'm excited to work with you. And now to, I'm going to pass it on to Mark Sicola, one of our counselors, who's going to talk a little bit more in depth on programs. But before he starts, I think we've got another poll for you to get a little bit more feedback on what areas you're interested in studying, so we can kind of tailor this conversation for you, okay?
Thank you, Brittany. Yes, so I'm going to launch a poll to determine what program that you're interested in at CVCC. So here we go. We're about halfway there for participants.
This is really neat how we can see this. All right, we need 8 more. Only
All
6
right.
more. Come on.
All right, we got 72%, so that's a good amount. I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results with you. All right, as you can see, we have about 38% who wanted some type of transfer program, either general studies, education, business administration, or liberal arts. 13% in a transfer for science or engineering. Then we have 25% in an allied health program, whether it be radiology, respiratory therapy, or a medical lab. And then we have 19% for welding and machine tool, and we have 6% for culinary arts and management. So that's a wide range, and Mark is going to be able to go over and be able to tell you about the different programs that we offer. So I'm going to stop sharing the results and hand it over to Mark.
Kimberly.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for sharing your evening with us tonight. Where your future begins. That's the CVCC slogan, but it's more than a slogan. It's more than just a bunch of words. It's the reality. Your career journey can take one of two roads if we're using the simplest common denominator. An academic path or a technical path. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on those two areas this evening. But no matter what your path, you might want machining, you might want to become an engineer or a nurse or a radiological technologist, a physician, a teacher, or a welder. You can make it happen right here at CVCC. So our technical programs, I encourage students to take every day, every time you step into a classroom or turn on that computer to participate in a class, you are auditioning for a job. Our technical programs, be they allied health, paramedic, respiratory therapy, rad tech, med lab, or HVAC, machining, electronics, technology, mechatronics, or a management associate's degree, administration of justice. These are going to prepare you for a job in the immediate future. Well, we're not going to a four-year institution. These are designed to give you the skills necessary to get hired and to begin your career path. And you're auditioning for a job because your instructors have connections and have developed relationships with area industry and businesses from all of the regions in this area. And they're looking to see, do you show up to class? Are you on time? Do you turn in your homework? Are you prepared when you come to class? Have you read the assigned work? Have you completed your projects on time? These are all indicators on your maturation level and how serious you are about the skills that you're hoping to develop with the goal of, ooh, I want someone to pay me for what I know and what I can do. So it's important to take this journey seriously. It can still be fun. Serious doesn't mean lack of smiles and lack of fun. And we've got the people here on this screen and hundreds of other employees that are here for you, and they want to help you succeed. They want to learn of your dreams and help you get to where you want to go. We have programs that are tiny. If we've got a welding program that is only 28 credits. And again, successful completion of that program, and you can be on your way for a welding career. We've got others that are rather intensive, and they could be 66 to 68 credits, and it's going to take you at least 2 years going full-time, all the time, including summer. We've got career study certificates. We've got diplomas. We've got associate's degrees. And again, these are not designed to transfer. They have to prepare you for a career in the workforce. On the other side, we've got academic programs. You can go immediately to a four-year institution, but they are going to make you take composition classes and math and history and lab sciences. So CVCC allows you to secure those same general requirements at a fraction of the cost. So you can keep some of that change in your pocket for when you go on to that four-year institution. We've got guaranteed admission agreements and articulation agreements. Here's the difference. Guaranteed admission agreements are contracts between the Virginia Community College System and four-year institutions, primarily within the Commonwealth, both public and private institutions, as well as a few institutions outside of Virginia. Essentially, it says if you fulfill all of the requirements within that contract, you are guaranteed a seat at that four-year institution. Articulation agreements are agreements with a four-year institution, but instead of it being across the entire Virginia Community College System, it is between CVCC and that four-year institution. But again, the same concept of, oh, here's a contract, I must fulfill all of the steps within that contract in order to be considered for that program. And whether you, no matter what path you choose, technical or transfer, we have a support system here at CVCC for you. In addition to our navigators and our counselors and all the folks here, we have a student accessibility services coordinator. We have a writing center, a math lab. We offer free tutoring. So if you need assistance, the support is here for you to successfully complete that journey. Now, we've been doing this now for, this is week number 2. I want to share a story with you, and I'll change these stories up each time so you keep coming back and you're not falling asleep when I'm speaking. So there was a student some years ago. The thing I remember about Stacy, not her real name, she was an engineering student, and her backpack weighed more than she did. And I was always amazed that she could put one foot in front of the other with that huge backpack. She had every book I think that the bookstore offered in that backpack. That's how big it was. It looked like it weighed a couple of 100 pounds. But it really didn't. But it looked like it. It was busting at the seams. And Stacy wasn't only bright, she was humble, she was delightful. She had a work ethic that was unmatched within the engineering students in her time here at CVCC. Her goal was to become a biomedical engineer. And while I won't mention the institution, I believe there's a 4-year school up in Charlottesville. I think so, with a biomedical engineering program. And Stacy was the first community college student to ever be accepted into their biomedical engineering program. And she graduated #1 in her class, and she is now in med school. So whatever your goal, your ambition, your dream, you can do it right here, starting at CVCC, where your future begins. Now, I have worn myself out. I'm hungry. I'm in the mood for some ice cream. So I'm going to pass it back to Kimberly. And Kimberly, are you going to offer them ice cream?
I wish I could, but I am going to offer them a poll to find out what kind of ice cream they do like. So I'm going to launch a poll. Please share with us what kind of ice cream you like, and we'll explain why we're asking this question for you in a minute.
Kimberly, can I answer?
Sure. How about it?
I get to answer this poll. All right, we got 15. We need 7 more. It's looking pretty good for mint chocolate chip.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky Road.
All right. We're at 68%, so I'm going to go ahead and end the polling, and I'm going to launch it and show you. All right, so it's kind of split. Chocolate is 13%, vanilla 13%, strawberry 7%, mint chocolate chip 13%, Rocky Road 7%, birthday cake 13%. Cookie dough took it though, 20%.
It's always cookie dough.
Cookie dough took it, and I'm curious with those that did other. You want to share what your other was? Just have to unmute yourself if you want to share what your other was.
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and
That's
cream.
what I like. Yep, cookies and cream. I was hoping somebody would say that.
It's the
Aaron
best
said
one.
he forgot caramel.
Mm.
Sorry, Aaron.
I know. Well, thank you for doing that. I will tell you the reason why we asked you that question is we do have Deanne McDaniel, who is our student activities coordinator. She does a lot of hosting of picnics, and we have ice cream flavors that are there for the picnics and things. So if you have questions relating to any of our activities that we have on campus, be sure to ask them in our Q&A session. All right, Michelle, back to you.
Portion of our evening. And now we want the opportunity to hear from you. So at this point, we're going to open the floor for Q&A. Please ask any question that you like, because we want to make sure you get your questions answered. And although Kimberly has given it back to me, I'm going to give it back to Kimberly, because Kimberly is kind of taking the Q&A piece and entertaining your questions.
Sure. We did have a question from Dawn, who had asked earlier, do dual enrollment students have to fill out the FAFSA? So I'm going to hand that over to Donna to answer that question.
Great question, Dawn. The only, you cannot get financial aid until you've actually graduated from high school. However, we are one of 50 schools in the state of Virginia that can get Pell money, but that is exclusively for students that are in the early college cohort. And the early college cohort is one that you've applied with the city or county where you reside, and you've been accepted into that cohort. Now, if you're taking a dual enroll class or course at the school, a lot of the schools pay for it, or you just pay a nominal fee for it. Did that answer your question?
Dawn, did that answer for you? You can do a thumbs up if you want.
I'm just going to guess it was a perfect answer.
That's right, exactly. We have a question from Aaron. Is CLEP applicable to general studies?
I'll take that one. Yes, it certainly is. We do accept ACE recommended credit. If you have taken CLEP exams, AP scores, any of that, feel free to send those in and we do award credit for appropriate scores there. Good question.
Donna, I do have a follow-up. What if they're a homeschooler doing the dual enrollment?
So homeschools kind of fall in the same category. If they have not graduated from high school, then they're ineligible for financial aid.
Thank you.
So I don't need to fill out the FAFSA?
That is correct.
Okay. I've applied, so what do I need? What's my next step?
So if you've applied, you just need to get your students, your son or daughter's transcripts to me to go over. Kimberly will have all my information in at the end, and you can send it to me, and then I'll reach out to you, call you, email you, however you want, and we can get the ball rolling with that.
Okay, we did it. We attached it in the application. Do I need to
Oh,
send
the signature page? Are you talking about the signature page for the parent to sign?
we hadn't done that yet. We hadn't signed it, but we've done everything, and there was a place in the application to upload a transcript.
Karen, do you know about that in ZAP?
There is a way we can pull that down. We will check to see approximately when was that sent in.
Just this week.
Okay, we'll take a check and we'll follow up with you.
Okay, I'd be glad to email it to you if I need to.
Yeah, Dawn, when my contact information is up there, could you shoot me an email with the student's name so we make sure we attach it to the right person?
Sure, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I just entered all the contact information in the chat feature, so you can go in and look at all of our names and our email addresses for you as well. Mark wanted to follow up on the CLEP question that was out there as well.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yes, we, as you heard, we do accept CLEP. Please note, if you're thinking about transferring, you might want to check with that four-year institution to make sure they accept the CLEP, your CLEP scores, your CLEP results. Just because we do doesn't mean it's necessarily a guarantee. So it's a good idea to check with that four-year school. Thank you, Kimberly.
You're welcome. Some more questions came in. We have one from Madison. So for type of classes, do you have any classes related to second or 2D or 3D animation or digital arts? Because I'm planning on becoming a digital artist. Mark, do you want to take that?
Sure, and I remembered to take the mute button off. Oh, I'm rolling tonight.
Guys on a roll.
We don't have anything within those subject areas. Sorry.
That's all right. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so
remember, we can either help them get started or we can help them reach the goal. So if there are classes out there that they would need in terms of, say, some of those general classes like English and math and some of those classes, definitely talk with one of our counselors so that they can help you take a look at where you're trying to go, what school you're trying to go to that would actually have that particular program. And then we take a look at what they are asking for and what you might be able to do with us prior to transferring to that school.
Kimberly, would this be a good time to also talk about the co-enrollment? So if they're going into maybe digital design, digital art, they may be able to take a class at one of the local schools?
Sure, I will probably let Brittany talk about that. There's a question out there too. I was gonna let Brittany kind of highlight a little bit about, the question came from Aaron. What about ACT scores? I know it was mentioned SAT helps with scheduling. So Brittany, do you want to answer that one and kind of go in with what Donna was saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So good question. Yes, we can use ACT scores as well. So I know I had mentioned SAT. for the multiple measuring as far as placement into classes. We can also look at ACT. So if you chose to do that over the SAT, so whether it's high school GPA, SAT, or ACT score, we can look at all of those to determine placement. And great point Donna brought up about the co-enrollment. So I actually just met with a student earlier today for advising who was also interested in animation, and kind of explained how while we can get you started to prepare you to transfer to whatever college or university you're looking to go to, what we've got locally with our 4 local colleges, which is Sweetbriar College, Randolph College, University of Lynchburg, and Liberty University, are co-enrollment agreements, which allow you to take the majority of your classes at CVCC. So maybe you're full-time at CVCC with 4 classes, or maybe you're enrolled in 3 classes with us, and you take your 4th class. It's only 1 class that you get to take at the given institution. So let's just use University of Lynchburg as an example. You're taking the majority of your classes at CVCC, and you get 1 class at University of Lynchburg for the same cost that it is at CVCC. So that's the big catcher there. That's an awesome deal. The point of these co-enrollment agreements is a chance for you to get used to that campus if that's where you're interested in transferring to. So you get a kind of a taste of both environments. One also, like Donna had brought up though, is they have some classes that we may not, because they have, you know, a lot more majors to choose from. So while we're helping prepare you get there, maybe that extra class is one of their animation classes that you're taking. We would have to work with you as far as, you know, of course, on scheduling for the actual class time and making sure that the class counts. We're certainly not going to set you up with classes that you don't need. The only thing I'll mention too about the co-enrollment agreement is, while it's a great opportunity because you're taking that class at this 4-year at the same cost as CVCC, we will work with you to make sure that there's no additional fees as far as student activity fees or things like that at the given 4-year college. So each co-enrollment agreement is slightly different. For example, off the top of my head, I know Randolph College recently made their class free for you to take over there. But you'll work with your counselor, and also Miss Emily Munez. She is our transfer counselor who you'll be meeting in one of these sessions that are soon to come. She'll talk a little bit more about this, but she does a great job at working with you one-on-one to make sure that you know all the fees that, you know, the 4-year college is expecting you to pay. She helps plan out the classes for the scheduling of you. But for those interested in animation, this is certainly a good opportunity you may want to look into if you're wanting to kind of get your feet wet and take some animation classes. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany. Brittany, you may want to answer this question as well. Kita asked, what if you've taken all of the classes required for curriculum placement?
So, Kita, are you like, maybe if you've taken math and English already, so you're not needing to take the placement test? Is that what you're asking?
That's correct.
Okay, so then you're done. You've done your placement testing. So if you've knocked out math and English, then the thing we may run into is, depending on what program of study you're pursuing, is just making sure you have prereqs for other classes. So for example, let's just say you wanted to take chemistry, a science class like chemistry. There's some higher level prereqs. So we, of course, would just work with you and make sure that you've also met those, because you may have already met the math requirement for your degree, but it might not be the same math requirement needed for a higher level science class or engineering or something like that. So definitely just reach out to us if you ever have any questions about the prereqs. But it sounds like if you've already got math and English done, then normally you're pretty set to kind of take those electives and maybe some of your other core classes, depending on what degree you're seeking.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Brittany.
Kita, if you haven't already done so, just simply send in a transcript to us and we will evaluate that and apply that transfer credit. So the courses that you take in other institutions can be applied to your degree work at CVCC. And I just want to follow up on the previous question as well about SAT and ACT. Those can help you with placement here at CVCC, but keep in mind, you're not required to take those. It's not an admission requirement. You do not have to have the SAT or ACT. It can only help you with placing into your classes if you have taken those.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Also, Got a question here from Aaron, and it is not a silly question, Aaron, at all. It's asking, if you complete your gen ed courses at CVCC and go on to a university or college to get your bachelor's degree, does it cut 2 years off to transfer? Absolutely. You're getting your first 2 years out of the way at a reduced price. Awesome move. You've saved money, so then you're able to go into your 4-year university only having 2 years left. And it all depends on the program you're going into. You know, some programs may make you take a few more classes. But yes, 2 years here, 2 years there, and you've got your bachelor's degree. Great questions, y'all. Y'all have done great. Okay, so Michelle, can I give them end of the session survey?
I think we got one more question, Kim.
One more question. Okay.
So it's Aaron asking about transferring to foreign universities. So I'm not sure if I'm the best person for this question, but it's kind of the same as transferring to any college, especially out of state. I mean, yes, our credits will transfer, but it's working with that college. So Karen, I'm not sure if you could answer this better, but we just always advise your transfer college. We want you to get in contact with that university and start working with their admission office so they can help guide you on, you know, what's the best advice for classes for you to be taking. So when you're starting to talk about foreign universities, that's, you know, that can be a whole different kind of set of requirements that they may have. So it's definitely best to reach out to them too, so we can work together with you.
Kimberly, I have one. I know time is running out, and I just want to mention one thing to the group that's here, and it's kind of more on a personal note. We realize, obviously, the COVID-19, this coronavirus, is a crazy thing that's going on. One of the things I want to say is when you submit your FAFSA for this upcoming fall is looking at 2018 tax information. So it's looking at if you had income from 2018, that's what you're reporting on the FAFSA. If your parents have income from 2018, they're submitting those income numbers on the FAFSA. If if through this COVID-19, maybe your parents have lost their job or their hours at work have been reduced, and so their income is not what it was in 2018, do not let that stop you from CVCC. We will do everything that we can to help you financially to make it work. One of the things that we can do is called a professional judgment. You submit some documentation to us, we can potentially make an adjustment to your FAFSA. So we can change your FAFSA income from the 2018 tax information to current real life now, you know, a more accurate picture of what your household finances looks like now. So again, if you have specific questions on that, reach out to us at our financial aid email. But I just wanted to let you know that we are here for you. We understand, you know, we are sensitive to things that are going on in the economy and with families. Do not let that deter you from attending CVCC. Like I said, we're here to help you, and we're going to do what we can to help get through this all together.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, that's very important. All right, I'm going to launch the poll for the end of the survey for you. As you can see, we are all here for you. We want to see you be successful here at CVCC. We are happy that you have joined us tonight. It's an exciting time, and we are looking forward to all of us being back on campus so we can see y'all smiling faces too. All right, we're getting the percentages coming through for the survey. We're at 61%. Give a couple more seconds and then we'll end the poll. Okay. I'm going to share the results for you. So it looks like everyone was able to find some information helpful in the session. And was it worth your time? Yes, everyone was worth their time, and they learned something new. So that's awesome. I'm glad you did. And again, I'm glad you were able to make it tonight. Michelle, do you want to wrap things up?
Can't hear you.
Our mission has been accomplished. You have learned some things that you didn't know before, and that you found this session useful, helpful as you move forward, making your decision, I hope, about CVCC. Ryan said some pretty personal and right on point things there a few minutes ago in terms of our desire to reach out to you, to help you move forward with that dream in your heart, with that desire. So we are real about wanting to connect with you and again, help you to move forward and have your future begin right at CVCC. And Mark, thank you for the story. Nothing brings it home like a nice story to just kind of pinpoint it and really help all of us get our mind around it. So again, thank you for listening this evening, and to all of the presenters on behalf of myself and all of the listeners, thank you so very much. You did a beautiful job this evening, and look forward again to gathering again on Thursday. Remember a couple of things. You can go to the website and listen to the recorded sessions, so they're out there. And then on Thursday, Emily Muniz, our transfer counselor, will be with us, and she'll dig a little bit deeper into this whole thing of what with transfer and what that means, and you can ask your questions to her as well. So again, any session that you'd like to be a part of, feel free to join us at any time. And we thank you for joining us this evening, and have a great night. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
You hit stop recording.